Welcome back to RF Coins. Today we start an amazing journey into the world of a very common coin that hides incredible secrets. The United States 1-cent piece from the year 1977. This small copper coin has lived in pockets, purses and piggy banks for decades. But do you know that some 1977 pennies can be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, that small piece of copper could hold a fortune. In this series we'll explore every detail of the 1977 penny, its design, history, mint marks, errors, and the surprising market value that still amazes collectors today. Stay with us till the end because this story could change the way you look at pocket change forever. The birth of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909, replacing the Indian head cent. It was created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin, designed by Victor David Brenner, featured Lincoln's bust on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. This design remained until 1958. After that came the Lincoln Memorial reverse starting in 1959, which was still in use in 1977. By 1977 the coin had already been circulating for nearly 70 years, making it a true American classic. Design details of the 1977 penny. The obverse of the 1977 penny features the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the motto "In God We Trust" above his head, liberty to the left, and the date 1977 to the right. Just below the date lies the mint mark, either no mark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. The reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial with United States of America and E pluribus unum above and 1 cent at the bottom. If you look closely at the reverse, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln sitting in the memorial, a beautiful detail often overlooked. Composition and weight. The 1977 penny was struck in a bronze alloy composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. The coin weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. Because copper itself has value, many collectors and investors keep older copper pennies as bullion. Since 1982 the U.S. Mint changed composition to copper-plated zinc, meaning 1977 cents belong to the older, more valuable copper era. The mints of 1977 inches 1977 pennies were produced at 3 locations: Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark, Denver with the D mark, and San Francisco with the S mark for proof coins. Philadelphia struck over 4.2 billion coins, Denver produced more than 4.1 billion, and San Francisco produced about 3.25 million proof coins. This massive mintage makes the 1977 penny common in circulation, but special varieties and conditions make certain coins extremely valuable. Circulated versus uncirculated coins. Most 1977 pennies you see are heavily circulated. They may have scratches, discoloration and loss of luster. Such coins usually have a value of only 1 cent or slightly more, but when you find uncirculated examples with sharp details and full mint luster, their value jumps dramatically. Collectors grade coins on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, where 70 means a perfect flawless coin. High-grade 1977 cents can sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on rarity. Proof coins of 1977. Proof coins struck in San Francisco were made with special polished dies and planchets. These coins have mirror-like fields and sharp frosted details. A proof 1977 S penny in perfect PR70 condition is extremely rare and valuable. Such coins have sold for hundreds of dollars in auctions. Collectors seek them because they represent the highest quality of mint craftsmanship. Error coins. Error coins from 1977 are especially exciting. Examples include double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clipped planchets. A double die penny shows doubling on letters or numbers, making it highly desirable. A 1977 D double die penny can fetch hundreds of dollars depending on strength and grade. Some off-center strikes where part of the design is missing can sell for 100 to 500 or even more depending on how dramatic the error is. Rare varieties. Though 1977 is not famous for major varieties, some rare examples exist, such as repunched mint marks, especially with the Denver D. Collectors love RPM coins because they show history of hand punching mint marks. A strong repunched D on a 1977 penny may bring premium prices at auction. Another sought-after type is a struck on wrong planchet error, for example a penny struck on a dime planchet. Such coins are extremely rare and worth thousands. Record auction prices. One of the highest auction records for a 1977 penny was nearly $7,000 for a coin graded MS67 red by PCGS. This shows how a simple penny can turn into a treasure if you hold a 1977 penny in brilliant red condition, especially with full steps on details. You may be holding serious value. Collectors compete fiercely for the best examples and prices continue to rise. Market trends. The value of 1977 pennies is rising because collectors are hunting for high-grade copper coins, with copper prices also increasing. Many people hoard pre-1982 dealers often buy them in bulk as copper bullion. This demand pushes even average uncirculated rolls higher in price, and the best condition coins certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC continue to break records. How to identify value. To identify if your 1977 penny is valuable, first check the mint mark, then examine its condition. Is it red, brown, or full red? Mint state red coins bring the highest price. Next, look for errors or varieties if you suspect doubling or a mint mark. Variety. Use a magnifier. Finally, if your coin appears uncirculated, consider sending it to a professional grading service. That step alone can transform a coin worth a few dollars into hundreds or thousands. Collector's tip: store your 1977 pennies in coin flips or albums to prevent scratches. Handle them by the edges, never touch the surface. Clean coins lose value, so avoid cleaning. Even dirty coins are worth more in original state. Always check pocket change. You never know when a valuable coin will appear. Many people still spend copper pennies not realizing their potential. Storytelling and fun facts. Imagine someone in 1977 buying a soda for 25 cents. They received a 1977 penny in change. That penny traveled through countless hands, maybe went overseas, maybe sat in a jar for decades. Today, that same coin could be sitting in your collection. If preserved, it might be worth a small fortune. This is the magic of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story, every scratch is a history mark, every high great example is a treasure waiting to be found. Conclusion and call to action. So friends, the 1977 penny may look ordinary, but it holds extraordinary potential. From its history to its errors, varieties, and record auction prices, this coin deserves respect. The next time you find a 1977 penny, do not just toss it aside, examine it closely. Who knows, you might be holding a coin worth thousands. If you enjoyed this journey with RF coins, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe for more episodes. Together we will uncover the hidden treasures in our pocket change. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where every cent counts. Today we are starting an exciting deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatics, the 1984 Lincoln penny. This little 1-cent coin, struck in the year 1984, has captured the attention of collectors all over the world. At first glance, it looks like just another copper-plated zinc penny, but hidden among the billions minted are rare varieties and errors worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that correctly. Some of these coins have sold for as much as $676,978. In this series we will explore everything about the 1984 penny. Its history, design, minting process, key varieties, errors, values, and how you can spot one in your own change. Stay tuned until the end, because this could be the video that turns a single cent into a life-changing discovery. The history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has a history stretching back more than a century. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first American coin to feature a real person. Victor David Brenner created the original portrait of Lincoln that still appears today. By 1984, the coin had already gone through many changes. Most importantly, in 1982 the United States Mint transitioned from a coin made of 95% copper to one made of zinc with a thin copper coating. This change was driven by rising copper prices. By the year 1984, nearly all pennies leaving the mint were copper-plated zinc. This historical shift makes the 1984 penny especially interesting to collectors. The design and details. On the obverse, or front, of the coin we see Abraham Lincoln's bust facing right. Above his head the words "In God We Trust." To the left, the word "Liberty." To the right, the date 1984 and a small mint mark depending on where the coin was struck. The reverse of the 1984 penny still featured the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. When you look closely, you can actually see the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial. This design would continue until 2008. Every detail on this coin matters to collectors, because differences and errors can turn an ordinary cent into a fortune. Where the 1984 penny was minted, the 1984 Lincoln cent was produced in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia pennies carry no mint mark. Denver pennies carry the small d beneath the date. And San Francisco produced proof coins marked with an S, intended for collectors. Billions were made at Philadelphia and Denver, while San Francisco struck only a fraction, making proof coins scarcer. Understanding mint locations is the first step in recognizing value. The famous double-ear variety, one of the most sought-after 1984 pennies, is known as the double-die obverse, also nicknamed the double-ear penny. On this variety, you can clearly see doubling on Lincoln's ear, making it look like he has a second ear just behind the first. This doubling is the result of a mistake in the hubbing process at the mint. Collectors prize this variety because it is bold, dramatic, and easy to see without magnification. High-grade examples of the double-ear penny can bring thousands of dollars at auction. Other 1984 errors. Besides the double ear, there are many other fascinating errors that occurred in 1984. Some coins were struck off-center, showing a crescent shape where part of the design is missing. Others have broad strikes, clipped planchets, or misaligned dies. A few were even struck on the wrong metal, like copper planchets left over from earlier years. These rare mint mistakes can push the value of a penny from 1 cent into the hundreds or thousands depending on condition and demand. Condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. Condition matters. A heavily circulated 1984 penny with scratches, dirt, and wear is usually worth only face value. But an uncirculated penny, straight from the mint with full red luster, can be worth far more. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC assign grades on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin in mint state 65 red or higher is where collectors pay premiums. This is why protecting coins and storing them properly is critical. Proof coins of 1984. The San Francisco Mint struck special proof coins in 1984. These proofs were not meant for circulation. Instead, they were carefully made for collectors with polished dies and planchets, giving them mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. Proof pennies from 1984, especially those graded as deep cameo, can fetch impressive prices. Even though millions of proof sets were sold, pristine examples remain highly collectible. The market value today. Now let's talk money. The regular 1984 penny in circulated condition is worth only 1 cent. But the double-ear variety in mint state condition can range from several $100s to several thousand. A record-setting auction saw a rare high-grade example sell for an astonishing $676,978. That single coin transformed pocket change into a small fortune. Collectors are constantly on the lookout, which drives demand and keeps values high. How to spot a valuable 1984 penny? If you want to find one of these treasures, start by checking every penny you receive in change. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to look closely at Lincoln's ear. If you see doubling, you may have struck gold in the world of pennies. Also check for errors like off-center strikes or unusual metal coloring. Keep an eye out for coins with strong luster and no wear, as condition amplifies value. Patience and attention to detail are the keys. Stories from collectors across the country. Stories emerge of people discovering rare 1984 pennies in old jars, in change from a grocery store, or hidden in inherited coin collections. These discoveries are not just about money but about history. Holding a rare coin connects you to the mint workers who produced it, the millions of people who used it, and the collectors who now treasure it. This human story is what makes coin collecting such a powerful hobby. Comparing with other years, the 1984 penny is not the only Lincoln cent with famous varieties. The 1955 double die, the 1969 S double die, and the 1992 close AM are all legends in the hobby. But the 1984 double ear holds a special place because it is both dramatic and relatively affordable compared to earlier rarities. Collectors often chase sets of varieties, and the 1984 penny is a must-have in that journey. Investment potential. Some people ask, is the 1984 penny a good investment? The answer depends. Like all collectibles, value fluctuates with demand. But historically, rare varieties and high-grade coins tend to increase in value over time. Even if you are not investing for profit, the joy of finding a rare coin and adding it to your collection is priceless. And with auction records climbing, the investment potential remains strong. Tips for beginners: if you are new to coin collecting, start simple. Get a magnifier, a coin album, and begin checking your change. Learn the difference between circulated, uncirculated, and proof coins. Study images of the 1984 double-ear variety so you know what to look for. Avoid cleaning your coins because this destroys value. And most importantly, enjoy the process. Every coin you examine brings you closer to discovery. Final thoughts and outro: the 1984 Lincoln penny may look ordinary, but within its small copper shell lies history, artistry, and extraordinary value. From its origins in the Lincoln cent series to its famous double-ear variety and record-breaking sales, this coin proves that treasures can still be found in everyday pocket change. Keep your eyes open, check your coins, and maybe one day you will hold a fortune in the palm of your hand. Thank you for joining RF Coins in this 15-part journey through the world of the 1984 penny. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more deep dives into coins worth money, and share this with your fellow collectors. Until next time, happy hunting. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating Lincoln pennies, the 1987 D cent. Could a single penny from 1987 really be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? We are going to uncover the history, the minting process, collector demand, rare errors, and yes, the shocking market value claims surrounding this coin. Stay with me until the very end because every detail could be the difference between a common penny in your pocket and a life-changing discovery. A look at 1987 in American coinage. The year 1987 was an interesting one in U.S. coinage. The Lincoln cent had already been using the copper-plated zinc composition since 1982. This was a major change from the traditional bronze pennies before 1982. Pennies contained mostly copper, but rising metal costs forced the U.S. Mint to switch. By 1987 every penny was struck with a core of zinc and only a thin copper plating. This matters because collectors often look closely at the transition years and how the new process created unusual errors. The mint behind the coin. The 1987 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint. The D Mint mark can be found just under the date on the obverse side of the coin, featuring Abraham Lincoln. Denver produced hundreds of millions of these cents, making them common in circulation. But common does not always mean worthless, as we will see. Certain conditions and errors can make the 1987 D penny extremely valuable. Who designed it? The design of the Lincoln penny goes all the way back to 1909 when Victor David Brenner created the portrait of Abraham Lincoln that still appears on the coin. The reverse side in 1987 featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo introduced in 1959. Collectors often look at details of Brenner's initials VDB and Gasparo's engraving for signs of rare variations. Why collectors care about 1987 D pennies? While millions of 1987 D pennies exist, collectors prize them when they are found in uncirculated condition or with special mint errors. A coin in pristine mint state condition graded by a professional service can reach high values, and when unusual minting mistakes appear, the price can skyrocket. The 1987 D penny is one of those coins that looks ordinary but has produced some of the most surprising auction results. Condition is everything for most 1987 D pennies. The value is only 1 cent in circulation, but in mint state red condition, especially MS67 and higher, the coin becomes rare. High-grade examples are sought after by registry collectors. These are the people who want the best possible coins for their sets. In these cases, a single cent can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Errors that add big value. Now this is where it gets exciting. Some 1987 D pennies have been found with dramatic minting errors. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, and wrong planchet strikes are examples. A double die obverse showing doubling on the date or lettering can turn a 1-cent coin into a treasure worth thousands. Market value claims. Recently, stories have circulated about 1987 D pennies selling for incredible sums, with claims of values like $676,977. While this may sound unbelievable, it highlights the demand for top-graded or extremely rare error coins. Collectors are willing to pay extraordinary prices for coins that are one of a kind. Famous auction sales. Some 1987 D Lincoln pennies in gem condition have already crossed the auction block at strong prices, while most sales are in the hundreds or low thousands. Rare errors have fetched much more. When you hear about a penny valued in the hundreds of thousands, it usually involves a unique error combined with perfect condition. That is what drives the dramatic numbers. How to identify yours. So how can you tell if your 1987 D penny is worth more than face value? Start with condition. Look for coins that still have full red luster with no scratches, or where next check for errors such as doubling off center strikes or unusual shapes. Finally, if you think your coin could be special, submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. This professional certification is essential to prove authenticity and maximize value. The role of coin grading. Grading is the system used to describe the quality of a coin, from circulated grades like fine or very fine to mint state grades like MS65 or MS67. Each step higher can multiply the value. For the 1987 D penny, only a tiny fraction survive in the very top mint state grades. That rarity is why they command such high prices. Collector demand. Today, the Lincoln Cent series remains one of the most popular U.S. coin series. Collectors love hunting for every date and mint mark. The 1987 D penny might not seem old, but it is now nearly 4 decades past its minting, and examples in untouched condition are getting harder to find. This constant demand supports higher values. Investment or curiosity. Should you keep every 1987 D penny you find? The truth is, most are only worth 1 cent. However, searching is part of the fun. The chance that you might discover a mint state gem or an error keeps the hobby exciting, and as we have seen, the top coins can bring in huge sums, making the search worth it. Could yours be the $676,977 penny? Imagine finding a 1987 D penny with a rare double die and in pristine mint state red condition, certified and placed in auction. It could attract fierce bidding and maybe reach values like the $676,977 claim. This is why collectors never dismiss even common-looking pennies. You never know what treasure might be hiding in your change. Conclusion and call to action. So the next time you see a 1987 D penny in your pocket, do not ignore it. Take a closer look at the details and the condition, because within these small copper-plated zinc coins lies the possibility of history and fortune. This has been RF Coins, bringing you the stories and secrets of American coinage. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1987 D Lincoln penny, make sure to like, subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next treasure hunt. And remember, your next penny might just be worth more than you ever imagined. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins from American history, the 1988 D Lincoln Cent. At first glance, this might look like just another penny from your pocket change, but what if I told you that some of these coins are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you will look at every 1988 D penny in your collection with brand new eyes. A look back at the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln Cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Over the years it has become not just a piece of currency but also a symbol of American history and pride. By the late 1980s, the penny had already gone through several design changes and minting experiments. The 1988 D penny belongs to a very special era, one where technology and tradition collided in fascinating ways. The Denver Mint. Now let us focus on the D Mint mark. The letter D represents the Denver Mint, one of the most active mints in the United States. In 1988, millions of pennies rolled out of Denver, but among those millions only a few carry unique characteristics that make collectors go crazy today. This is why you should always check the tiny D mark under the year, because not all pennies are created equal. Composition of the 1988 D penny. The 1988 penny was not made entirely of copper like earlier versions. Instead, it was primarily composed of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. This change happened in 1982 when the rising cost of copper made full copper pennies too expensive to produce. This detail matters because it affects weight, sound and durability, which are all things collectors use to detect errors and varieties. That the famous 1988 reverse error. Here comes the exciting part. Some 1988 pennies were struck with the wrong reverse design. Instead of using the standard 1988 reverse die, the mint accidentally used a 1989 reverse die. Collectors call this the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny. This error is one of the most desired varieties in modern Lincoln cents, and it can skyrocket the value of your coin if you happen to find one. How to identify the 1988 reverse of 1989? So how can you tell if you have this rare variety? Look at the lettering, especially the letters in the word America on the back. In the reverse of 1989 variety, the spacing between the letters A and M is slightly different and the FG initials near the Lincoln Memorial are sharper and closer. A magnifying glass or even a jeweler's loupe will help you spot these differences. Current market values. Now let us talk about money. A regular 1988 D penny in circulated condition is worth only 1 cent. But a 1988 D with the reverse of 1989 error can bring serious cash. Some examples in mint state condition have sold for hundreds of dollars, and the top-graded examples have fetched prices in the thousands. Imagine turning 1 cent into $600 or even $6,000. Auction records in recent years. Collectors have paid extraordinary sums for rare 1988 D pennies. For example, high-grade specimens certified by PCGS or NGC have crossed auction blocks for more than $2,000. Some reports even show private sales in the range of $6,000 to nearly $7,000 depending on grade and demand. Grading and value. The value of your 1988 D penny depends heavily on its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from poor 1 to mint state 70. A heavily circulated penny might only be worth a small premium, but a crisp uncirculated coin with the error can be worth life-changing money. Always consider professional grading if you suspect you have a rare variety. Collectors demand. Why is this penny so popular? The answer is simple. It combines history, rarity, and affordability. Most collectors can find a 1988 D penny in circulation, but finding the reverse of 1989 variety is like striking gold. That mix of possibility and rarity fuels demand and keeps prices climbing. How to search your change? You might be wondering how to start. The first step is to gather your spare change or coin jars at home. Then carefully examine every 1988 penny, especially those with the D mint mark. Use a good light source, magnification, and patience. Remember, the difference is small, but once you see it you will never forget it. Storage and protection. If you find a valuable 1988 D penny, do not just toss it back into your coin jar. Protect it. Use coin flips, 2x2 holders, or even better, airtight capsules. Proper storage ensures your coin does not get scratched, tarnished, or damaged over time. A small investment in storage can protect a big payoff in the future. Stories from collectors across the United States. Collectors have shared amazing stories. A man in Texas found a 1988 D reverse of 1989 penny in his pocket change and later sold it for more than $1,000. Another collector spotted one in a bulk lot purchased at a garage sale and turned a few dollars into a small fortune. These stories inspire the entire hobby and keep people searching. The future potential. Will the value of the 1988 D penny go even higher? Many experts believe so. As more collectors enter the hobby and as fewer high-grade coins remain undiscovered, the demand will keep pushing values upward. That means today's 1 cent could be tomorrow's $6,000 jackpot. Conclusion and call to action. So there you have it, the complete story of the 1988 D Lincoln cent, from its history and composition to its famous reverse of 1989 error and its jaw-dropping auction records. This tiny coin is proof that treasure still exists in everyday change. Always keep your eyes open, because you never know when you will stumble upon a fortune hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe to RF Coins, where we uncover the hidden stories and hidden values of coins every week. Hit the like button, share this video with other collectors, and drop a comment if you have ever found a rare penny in your collection. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next penny be worth $1,000. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting modern coins, the 2006 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it may look like just an ordinary cent, but the truth is some of these coins are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Collectors across the United States and beyond are chasing rare errors, mint varieties, and pristine conditions that can transform a 1-cent coin into a small fortune. So sit back and stay with me until the end as I break this down into multiple parts, where we will explore the history, design, rarity, grading, and real auction records of the 2006 Lincoln penny. The story begins. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous circulation since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. By 2006, it had already seen decades of changes, from wheat reverse to memorial reverse, and later shield reverse in 2010. The 2006 penny sits right in that transitional period, still carrying the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and it was struck in huge numbers. But as always, inside those millions of coins are rare gems waiting to be discovered. Design details. On the obverse we see the classic bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo. Above Lincoln's portrait you'll see the motto "In God We Trust." To the left, Liberty. To the right, the date 2006, and depending on where it was minted, you will see either a small D for Denver or no mint mark for Philadelphia. San Francisco also produced proof versions for collectors to metal composito. And now let's talk about what the coin is made of. Since 1982, the penny has been struck in a composition of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating of 2.5%. That means most 2006 pennies are not solid copper. However, errors exist where the wrong planchet was used, or where the copper layer was improperly applied. These can make a coin unique and very valuable. How many were made? The U.S. Mint produced an incredible number of 2006 pennies. Philadelphia alone struck over 4.2 billion. Denver struck over 4 billion as well. Proofs from San Francisco were much smaller in number, around 2.8 million. With such massive production, you might think these coins are common, but remember, true collectors don't just look at how many exist, they look at how many survive in perfect condition. Condition and grading is everything in coin collecting. A 2006 penny you pull from circulation might only be worth a cent or two, but the same coin in mint state 67 or higher can skyrocket in value. Third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC have slabbed some of these coins and given them high grades. In fact, a 2006 penny in top condition has sold for over $6,000 at auction. Rarity. One of the most exciting parts of collecting 2006 pennies is the hunt for errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and misaligned dies all add huge premiums. There are examples where the date 2006 shows doubling, or where the Lincoln Memorial is clearly doubled on the reverse. These coins can easily sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on severity. Proof cons. The 2006 proof pennies from San Francisco are another story. They were minted in small numbers for collectors and struck with mirror-like surfaces. If you have one in deep cameo or perfect proof 70 condition, the value jumps dramatically. Some have sold in the $200 to $500 range. Remember, proofs were never meant for circulation, but sometimes they slip into change and become true treasures. The golden rule of collecting. Here's the rule every coin collector should know. Always check your coins under magnification. Many collectors overlook pennies because they assume they are common. But history has shown time and again that tiny errors turn ordinary coins into life-changing finds. The 2006 penny is a perfect example. Real auction records. Let's talk real numbers. One 2006 D penny graded MS67 red sold for over $6,750. Another in superb gem condition brought in nearly $5,000. Even slightly lower grades like MS66 can fetch hundreds. And when you add in errors, the numbers climb even higher. This is why collectors pay close attention to even the smallest details. Collector demand. Why do people pay so much for a penny? The answer is collector demand. Coin collectors, or numismatists, value rarity, history, and condition. The 2006 penny represents the last few years of the memorial reverse before the design changed. This makes it historically significant, and people want the best examples for their collections. How to spot value in your coin. The best way to find these gems is to check every penny you come across. Look for sharp detail, shiny surfaces, and absolutely no scratches. Pay attention to the mint mark, the date, and the details of Lincoln's face and the memorial. Any doubling, misstrike, or off-center detail should catch your eye. Storage and PROTCTO. And if you find a high-quality 2006 penny, do not throw it back into circulation. Store it carefully in a 2x2 flip, coin capsule, or protective holder. Avoid touching the surface with your fingers, as oils can damage the coin. If you believe it is especially valuable, consider sending it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. The hidden treasure factor. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Something as ordinary as a 2006 penny in your change can turn out to be worth thousands of dollars. Stories keep emerging of people who thought they had nothing, only to discover they were holding a fortune. That thrill keeps collectors searching every day. Future value. So what about the future? Many experts believe the value of high-grade 2006 pennies will continue to climb. As more coins get lost, damaged, or circulated, the number of pristine examples shrinks. Demand, however, keeps growing. That is the perfect recipe for rising prices. Closing THUGHTS. To wrap it up, the 2006 Lincoln penny may look like small change, but in the right condition, or with the right error, it can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. From history to design, from minting errors to record-breaking auctions, this tiny coin tells a huge story. So next time you see a 2006 penny, don't just spend it. Take a closer look. You never know, you might be holding a coin worth $6,000 or $7,000, and that's all for today's deep dive. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to RF Coins, and share this with other collectors. Stay tuned, because we have many more hidden treasures to reveal in upcoming videos. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a lot of money. Today we're going to dive deep into one of the most fascinating modern Lincoln pennies, the 2018 Lincoln cent. Believe it or not, some of these coins have shocked collectors by reaching values you would never expect for such a recent coin. Some examples have been valued at over $676,974 depending on rarity, error, and condition. Stay tuned because we're going to explore the history, the key details, the errors you need to watch for, and the real current market values that can turn a single penny into life-changing money. A quick history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln cent is one of the longest-running coins in United States history. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, and since then it has remained a symbol of American history and pride. Over the years, it has gone through several design changes, but Lincoln's portrait has stayed. By 2018, the penny was over 100 years old, and the Denver Mint, marked with the famous D mint mark, struck millions of these cents. Why 2018 D pennies stand out now? You may be wondering, if the mint struck millions, how could a 2018 D penny possibly be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in rarity, errors, and pristine condition. While most 2018 D pennies are only worth face value, certain rare types or special mint error coins have sold for staggering prices at auction. These are the hidden gems we're after. Understanding mint errors. Mint errors are mistakes that happen during the coin production process. They can include things like doubled dies, off-center strikes, missing letters, or planchet flaws. In the case of the 2018 D penny, collectors have identified a handful of error varieties that drastically increase value. Imagine holding a penny that looks ordinary to most people, but an expert sees a doubled image or an unusual minting flaw. That's where the big money lies. The $676,974 example. One of the most talked about values attached to a 2018 D Lincoln penny is $676,974. Now, not every coin is going to hit that figure, but high-grade examples combined with dramatic mint errors have the potential to reach insane values at major auctions. This is why collectors and treasure hunters across the United States keep a close eye on their pocket change. Condition and grading. Another key factor in value is grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. A 2018 D penny in MS 65 or higher, meaning it's in mint state, uncirculated, and nearly flawless, can bring in much more than face value. The difference between a worn penny and a perfect one can be the difference between 1 cent and thousands of dollars. Eye appeal matters. Collectors don't just look at technical grade, they also want eye appeal. If a coin has rich color, strong luster, and no distracting marks, it will always command higher prices. This is why some 2018 pennies with special toning or flawless surfaces have been listed at auction for shocking amounts. Auction houses and sales. When coins like this sell, they don't sell on eBay for a few dollars. They show up in big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. These are the places where deep-pocketed collectors fight to own the rarest coins. Reports of 2018 cents climbing in price show us that even modern coins can surprise the market. How to check your coin. So how do you check if your 2018 penny is special? Step 1. Look for the D mint mark under the year. Step 2. Inspect the coin under good light or with a magnifier. Look for any doubling in the lettering, unusual lines, or a strike that seems off-center. Step 3. Consider submitting it to a professional grader if you think it could be valuable. The psychology of collectors. Why would anyone pay thousands for a penny? For collectors, it's about history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something few others have. The Lincoln cent has been part of American life for over a century, and owning a rare variation connects people to that legacy. It's not just money, it's passion. That stories from collectors. Many collectors share stories of finding valuable coins in pocket change, coin rolls, or even old jars in the attic. Imagine finding a 2018 era penny in your change from a grocery store. That single moment could turn into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Investment potential. Some people see rare pennies as more than collectibles, they see them as investments. While not every coin will skyrocket in value, history has shown that rare Lincoln cents tend to hold or grow in value over time. The 2018 penny, with its combination of modern appeal and rare varieties, could be a sleeper investment coin for the future. Beware of fakes. Whenever money is involved, fakes appear. Be careful when buying rare coins online. Always buy from reputable dealers or auction houses, and remember that grading services can certify authenticity. Don't fall for too good to be true listings without proof. Final thoughts on 2018 pennies. So, what's the takeaway? While most 2018 pennies are worth a single cent, there are rare examples out there worth hundreds, thousands, or even close to $676,974. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and errors. The key is to never overlook your change, because treasures are still out there waiting to be found. Closing for RF Coins channel. Thank you so much for watching today's deep dive into the mysterious world of the 2018 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to RF Coins, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share this video with your friends and family because who knows, they might be holding a small fortune in their pockets without even realizing it. And as always, keep searching, keep collecting, and remember, the next great treasure might be hiding in your pocket change. See you in the next video right here on RF Coins.